Welcome to our second webinar on hypnotherapy with Roger Moore. My name is Lauren Bino, and I am a program manager and health educator here at Cancer Pathways. So during today's session, Roger will be discussing sleep and how you can clear your head and relax your body for nights of deep, sound, restful, and restorative sleep. So hopefully after today's session, you will be steps closer to waking up each morning feeling a bit more relaxed, refreshed, and energized for a new day. Hopefully you all either attended the last session live or viewed the recording, so you already know who Roger is. But in case you don't, I just want to give you a brief introduction. Roger Moore is a medical counselor and hypnotherapist and has been in private practice since 1997. He has worked extensively with individuals and groups affected by cancer. Today, he provides telehealth sessions online worldwide. So just one quick housekeeping note before we get started. Please stay muted throughout the session unless you're prompted to unmute or if you have a question. Feel free to raise your hand or use the Zoom chat feature as well. We will be recording today's session and it will be available in a few days. So I am now going to turn it over to Roger.
Thanks, Lauren. Appreciate it. And welcome, everybody. It's good to see everybody. Talk today about sleep. I've had it happen where somebody has, at the end of a session, fallen into a deep sleep, and we end up ending the session with them still sleeping. That's fine as long as you're prepared for that, and somebody else is, if you have somebody there with you, if you need to be somewhere to wake you up. Ideally today you'll stay awake and then use what we do tonight when you crawl in bed. But before we even start talking about sleep, I want to just spend a little bit of time talking about hypnosis suggestions. And last week I taught you the light switch self-hypnosis, which again is a form of self-hypnosis. And Lauren, I'll be sending out the links to you for hypnosis suggestions. But in general, what I always tell folks is, for the most part, you want to write down your suggestions. In a pinch, just say it to yourself, think it to yourself. But there's a lot of benefit in writing down a suggestion and hold it in your hand and reading it, that whole kinesthetic learning approach. But a suggestion is kind of like an affirmation. It should always be positive. And there's some different thoughts on that, but from my perspective, I would say keep it positive. In other words, if I tell you don't think of a blue cow, you got to think of a blue cow. So you would never give yourself the suggestion, I'm not stressed, because just saying that kind of creates some tension in your body. If you have pain, you don't want to talk about, I don't have pain, because then you're focused on the pain. Focus on what it is you do want. I'm calm and relaxed. I'm feeling more and more comfortable in my body. So focus on what it is you want versus what you don't want. Suggestions should always be present tense. I am calm and relaxed. I sleep tonight through the night. Okay. Not I will sleep. Yeah, sure you will. Or I want to sleep. Oh, that's so nice that you want to. So what? Or I should. Yes, you should. No, it's I sleep. I'm feeling better and better. So right here, right now, present tense. Suggestions should have heart, should have passion, should have meaning to you. And one of the links that you'll receive is access to my page of hypnosis suggestions. There's more than 5,000 suggestions that I have there, okay? You are welcome to use them word for word. A lot of them aren't going to have any meaning to you, so don't use them, okay? And even amongst the ones that have no meaning, there might be a word or a phrase that you draw upon. One of the things, after having written 5,000 suggestions, I'm kind of like totally out of ideas. So one of the things that I do is I Google affirmations. And I'll Google affirmations for cancer recovery. And up comes a good 100 pages. First page, page and a half are fairly legit. You go back much further, you're going to be in plumbers and porn sites that used affirmations in their tag words. In that first page, page and a half, you'll find some very well written affirmations, and you will find some I'm not stressed. But even amongst those, I'll find a word or a phrase that looks interesting, and I'll jot it down. And after several of those, I'll look down and go, okay, now I have something that I can play with and put together. Suggestions sometimes need to be quantified. I drink more water. What, 1 raindrop? I create more financial abundance in my life. You walk out the front door, there's a penny on the sidewalk, you bend over. Okay, that's done. What's next? So if your intent is to increase or decrease something, you want to quantify it. I drink 48 ounces of water or more every day. I maintain $1 million or more in my bank account. On the other hand, if it's water soothes me, calms me, relaxes, refreshes, and energizes me, that's about the qualities, the benefits of drinking water. It's not about increasing or decreasing quantity. That one doesn't need to be quantified. And the final piece that I would urge you to do is to personalize it. For most of us, the first person I statement. I love drinking water. For some people, they're talking to their unconscious mind. They go to second person, they would write, you love drinking water. And a few others would go to third person and they'd write, Anna loves drinking water. Well, if I'm sitting here all by myself and I'm reading you love drinking water or Roger loves drinking water, I don't know who I'm talking to. For me, it's a first person I statement. And I have a few clients that will juggle between the three of them, whatever is going to work best for you. I've experienced people teaching this method of giving suggestions where they've told you to write down as many suggestions as you want. Well, if you're sitting there looking at 20 suggestions, where are you going to focus? Okay. There's nothing wrong with only using one suggestion at a time, just never more than 3. Keep it laser, keep it real focused. And I always encourage you to keep your suggestions to a single topic. If this session is about health and wellness, make it about that. If this suggestion is about craziness going on in the family, make it about that. If this suggestion is about some insanity at work, make it about that. But don't in one hypnosis session give yourself one suggestion about work, one about relationships, and one about health and wellness, because where are you going to focus? Any one of those can be a wonderful hypnosis session. But keep the session to a single topic. And I use I told you at least 5 times a day, every day. I use self-hypnosis multiple times throughout the day. And one of the things that I do is before like this group or before a client is I write down 1 or 2 or 3 suggestions about what's going on and read them over 5 times, shut off my light switch, focus on the outcome of the suggestions. During your self-hypnosis, don't be repeating over and over to yourself, I'm calm and relaxed, I'm calm and relaxed, I'm calm and relaxed, because you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to stress yourself out. Okay. The outcome is feeling calm and relaxed. The outcome is you're in a beautiful mountain meadow or a warm tropical beach or in your cozy bed or wherever's calming and relaxing for you. Okay. Focus on that outcome, not repeating the words over and over and over. Again, I encourage you to write them down and use them that way. But in a pinch, you might be going to the doctor's office and you're kind of nervous, feeling a little anxious about it and anxious about your getting your blood pressure and keeping it from going up because the white coat syndrome and all those things that go on. And you barely have enough time to get to the restroom. And there's paper there, but no pen. Don't go, oh, darn, I can't use my self-hypnosis. No, go ahead and give yourself a suggestion. I'm at ease. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. And go do it. When I'm riding my bike up a very steep hill, eyelids are wide open, and I can be thinking, oh, this is so hard. I can't do this. This is too much, and suffer. Or eyelids wide open, I can be giving myself suggestions. My legs are strong, powerful pistons. I have all the strength, all the energy, all the stamina I need to conquer this hill. Okay. Either way, I'm giving myself suggestions. And so my perspective on it is I want to focus on suggestions of the outcome I want versus what I don't want. In other words, suffering is optional. And my take on self-hypnosis and why I think it's so critically important is that, and this comes from my weight loss program, which has been around since 1990. And people do call me up saying, Roger, I'm putting on the weight. I'm about 5, 10, 50 pounds. I need to get back in. First question I ask is, are you using your self-hypnosis? Not once in all these years has any of those folks ever said yes. So no. Okay, that's where we're going to start. Every 4 to 5 years, and last time we did it was 4 years ago this month, I emailed, called, tried to track down people around the world who 2 or more years ago got to their goal weight. Every time we do this, the results are always the same. 100% of the folks who say, yes, I'm doing beautifully maintaining my weight, say, yes, of course, I use self-hypnosis. And 100% of the folks who say, no, I piled the pounds back on, say they no longer use it. Not once in all these years has anybody ever said, I'm packing on the pounds and I faithfully use self-hypnosis. And nobody has ever said, I'm doing beautifully maintaining and I no longer use it. Okay. That is the power of self-hypnosis. And also one of the things I tell all my weight loss clients is very quickly they're going to learn that it's very much becomes less and less about I love peas and I love carrots. And it's a whole lot more about being calm, about being relaxed, about being productive at work, about having happy, healthy, loving relationships. It's going to be about those things. Because when those things come into place, then healthy living, healthy lifestyle becomes pretty easy. So that is a very quick nutshell of giving yourself suggestions. And you can do your light switch, your self-hypnosis for 1 minute, or if you have the luxury, do it for 5 or 10 or 15 or 20. Mine probably average 2 or 3 minutes. But make this your own. And most importantly, use it. Before I move on to sleep, any questions about giving yourself suggestions? Nobody? Okay. And if you do, please feel free to email me throughout the week and ask. Okay. So one of the suggestions that I use when I crawl in bed at night is I sleep soundly and restfully through the night, having a night of restorative sleep, awakening in the morning, relaxed, refreshed, and energized, excited about the new day. Something along that line. And I don't read it. I just say it to myself as I close my eyelids. And you shut off your light switch and you don't turn it back on. When you open your eyelids in the morning, your light switch is going to come back on. I've had people shut off their light switch, give themselves suggestions, shut off the light switch for sleep. And then when they think a minute is up or their time is up, they turn it back on. And then it's like they're wide awake. Do not turn it back on. You're shutting it off for the night to sleep through the night. Sleep is extremely crucial to your health and wellness. It's one of the foundations for health. And you take away the bedrock of sleep, or even just weaken a little bit, and the healthy eating, the physical exercise become less and less effective. Every one of our major systems, our tissues and organs of our body suffer when sleep becomes short, when we're sleep deprived. And no aspect of your health can retreat at the sign of sleep loss and escape unharmed. It's just sleep is critically and crucially important. You're going to see lots of differing information about how much sleep. And you're going to see those studies that are very adamant you got to have 8 or more hours of sleep per night. I don't know. I don't know that that's true. I see other studies that say 6 or 7 hours is adequate. I tend to suggest to people that do what feels right, that allows you to feel rested the most. Okay. My sleep is generally 6 or 7 hours. I sometimes try to make a commitment. Okay, I'm gonna sleep till I'm gonna sleep in the morning and think I'm gonna get 8 or 9 hours. And after about 7 hours, my eyelids are wide open. I'm wide awake, refreshed, feeling energized, ready to go. And it's like, okay, I got to get out of this bed. Pay attention to your body. Notice what works best for you, what feels right to you. And what happens with sleep deprivation, and I'm using flooding lately, flooding houses as a metaphor, since our house flooded and we finally get to move back in on Friday. But it's like water, sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation is like water bursting from a pipe. The water seeps into every nook and cranny of biology and down into your cells and even altering your most fundamental self and your DNA. And sleep loss in the immune system is very detrimental to your immune system. Sleep fights against infection and sickness by deploying just a host of weaponry for your immune arsenal and just helping protect you. And when you fall ill, the immune system actively stimulates the sleep system. In fact, I just ended a session with a woman in Connecticut who is doing radiation for cancer. And she was just riding herself because she was exhausted and wasn't using her time wisely. She working on writing a book and was going slowly and was found herself sitting and not writing, and she's had 5 weeks of radiation now and has I think 2 or 3 more to go. And we talked about what her body's going through and how her body is working really, really hard at healing and wellness and working with the radiation, and her body is exhausted, and it's okay and it's normal and natural. And what she need to be doing now is offering herself grace and kindness, and instead of chastising herself for not getting things done, just allow resting to be an important part of self-care, an important part of getting things done so that she can finish her book. So things that are critically important for in establishing healthy sleep habits. Keep a consistent schedule. When people contact me and want hypnosis for sleep insomnia, one of the things I find is, they're staying up till 3 a.m. and getting up at noon or whatever, and can't sleep at night. And or they're one night they'll go to bed at 9 o'clock and the next night they go to bed at 2 a.m. and just all kinds of crazy things going on. And what most studies will say when it comes to increasing your sleep is be consistent. Set a bedtime, whether it's 10 o'clock or whatever the magic hour is for you, set that time and go to bed. And then on the flip side of that, also set your alarm and make sure you get out of bed in the morning at the same time. In other words, if 7 a.m. is your magic hour, even if you didn't fall asleep till 5, get up at 7. Okay. You want to establish those habits, those routines of bedtime and getting up, and that will assist you in being able to sleep between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. Some folks say don't go to bed unless you're sleepy. The problem with that I found is that you might not be sleepy till 2 a.m. and then you might sleep later. Again, I urge you to set that magic hour, go to bed. Don't be watching TV in bed. Don't be reading your tablet or your iPhone in bed or working on your computer. In fact, at least an hour between the last screen time that you have and going to bed. Some studies will say 2 hours because there's a lot of stimulation that goes on with your eyes, and that can keep people awake. Some people really need total darkness and have blackout shades and in the sleep shades on their eyelids. If that works for you, that's awesome. Personally, I like a little light. We're blessed to live in a place where we don't need many curtains in our house, and we don't have anybody around that can see into our bedroom, and we don't have curtains or shades, and so there's some light, natural light that filters in. I like that. Find the right temperature for you for sleep. I tend to like to sleep in cold with a blanket or two on top of me. But I grew up in Iowa and Minnesota and remember waking up in the morning with frost in the room because I owned the farmhouse, because it was an old farmhouse and drafty, and it was 40 below outside and things had frost on them. And we slept under big piles of blankets. So that just feels normal and natural to me. And it's like I can crawl in and almost immediately go to sleep. Don't eat a large meal before going to bed. I always urge people, have a good, at least 2, preferably even 3 hours between your last bite of food and crawling in bed. Pay attention to how you respond to exercise. I cannot exercise, go to the gym, whatever, and crawl in bed. I tried that 2 or 3 different times. Didn't work. Exercise for me is very stimulating. It's a way of starting my day. It's a way of energizing me. And there were a few times years ago where I'd go to the gym at 8 o'clock at night and I'd work out for a couple hours. Well, then I was wide awake and wired till 3 a.m. Okay, because it just, let's go. I was set for the day. So I learned pretty quickly that that's not the time for me to exercise. I have clients that do go to the gym at 8 o'clock at night and get in 2 or 3 hours or get on their treadmill or their exercise bike or whatever cardio activity they do. And then they shower and crawl in bed and sleep like a baby. If that works, that's awesome. Okay. But just what's to me is important is you know yourself and what works best for you. Pay attention to your caffeine intake. My wife used to be able to drink a cup of black coffee and finish it and crawl in bed and go right to sleep. Now after about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she's done because she knows it's going to keep her up. I can The other night I drank a cup of cold coffee at 6 p.m. and doesn't affect me at all. Alcohol. Some people think that having that shot or that glass of wine is going to help them sleep. Alcohol does not help with sleep, and alcohol can actually it doesn't help with restorative sleep. You might get sleepy, but it's not a good restorative sleep. So avoid using alcohol a couple hours before bedtime. And then also there's that delicate balance of how much water to drink at night. And I generally have 1 glass of water before going to bed, or during the evening between dinner and bedtime. I'll sip on a glass of water, but I know not to drink 2 or 3 glasses of water because I'll be up multiple times during the night. One way of looking at sleep is that it's like a car wash for your brain. It's a way of just allowing your brain to relax, to clear your thoughts. And there's a lot of research and looking at going on with dementia, Alzheimer's, and sleep deprivation. And there seems to be some connections there, although it's not real clear. But sleep is a great way to help promote brain health. Okay, can you all see that? Okay, so this is a piece from a therapy called timeline therapy. It has a lot of different versions and formats. But what this diagram is a bird's eye view looking down the top of a head. And I don't know if you can you see my cursor move? Okay, so these are 2 eyes, that's a nose, that's hair, not a number 7. Okay, so it's a bird's eye view looking down the top of your head. And the idea with timeline is that thoughts come from somewhere outside your body, that past memories, past thoughts, past emotions, classically oriented, might be in front of you and to your left, and your future might be in front of you to your right. Or it could be that your past is behind you, your future is in front of you, or any one of a multitude of possible orientations. And for what we're doing today with it, it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference how you vision or view your timeline to be. Anybody here that is afraid of being in an airplane and way up high and looking out the window? I can't see everybody. If that's a problem for anybody, just unmute your mic and say so. Everybody's good with that? Okay, I'm gonna take your word, or take the silence as everybody's good with that. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to imagine all time, past, present, and future, as you imagine it to be, is going to end up being only about 1 inch long. And in a moment, not just yet, but I'm going to ask you to float out of your body, out of the room you're in, out of the building you're in, going up so high that as you look down on now, all time, as you understand it, past, present, and future, is only going to be about 1 inch long. Okay. And another way of doing this, and if somebody is fearful of heights or being in an airplane or something like that, I have them perhaps be on a beach, and time is a ship that sails off into the distance. A lot of different ways that you can go about this, but floating above your timeline is just kind of a fun way. So if everybody right now would please just close your eyelids and imagine floating right out of your body and just staying right there in that room and looking over at yourself. noticing the clothes you're wearing, noticing windows and pictures and books and desks and other objects in the room. And then just in that awareness of that, you can imagine, you can see, and again, you can imagine this with me, you can pretend it, you can play along, you can act as if. Just allow yourself to float right up out of that room, out of that building, going up higher and higher and higher and higher, going way up high. So high. Your entire timeline, past, present, and future, is only about an inch long. Going up higher and higher. And notice how quiet it is up here, how peaceful it is. Notice the joy and freedom that's available to you up here. You can laugh, you can sing, you can shout, you can dance, you can do somersaults and backflips and handstands. Total joy. Total freedom, just notice. Now, if you want, just look out into the future, and again, without judgment, make sure you stay way up high, but without judgment, see what you see, no reason to judge it. And staying way up high, float around now so you're looking off to the past. And notice how from way up here, as you look into the past, and again, without judgment, you can't really see any of the events of the past, but maybe you notice that your timeline is solid. Maybe you notice your timeline has some black spots or holes or some missing spots. Again, there's no reason to judge it, just notice. And now staying way up high. Float around so you're looking down on now. And notice how from way up here, in the grand perspective of all universal time, past, present, and future, everything has a whole new look, a whole new perspective. Notice how from way up here, again, all time as you understand it, it's only an inch long, past, present, and future. Notice how when you look down on a stressful or upsetting moment of now, notice how from way up here in the grand perspective of all universal time, why that moment doesn't even amount to a grain of sand on a beach of time. It's not even as significant as a single thread in the carpet. Just notice. Just notice. Now, this is your space. It's your private place. You can enter it anytime you choose, simply by floating up. Eyelids open or eyelids closed, doesn't really matter. It's a great place just to play and hang out. And also just notice, perhaps, that feels real familiar to shutting off your light switch and going deeper, deeper, relax. It's all trance. It's another way of entering into self-hypnosis. But for now, just go ahead and allow yourself to just float gently all the way back down. All the way back down into the building you're in, into your body. And whenever you're ready, gently open your eyelids. How'd you do? One of the beauties about this, in terms of just handling stress, Remember, I had to look down a stressful moment of now and realize that it's not as significant as a thread in the carpet or a grain of sand on a beach of time. Our brand new cupboards have been installed in our kitchen. And much to our dismay, the first thing we realized is we couldn't shut the cupboard door with our plates. And what we had talked about was having a 12-inch shelf inside the cabinet. And what they installed is 11-inch inside and 12 inches on the outside. And that was definitely one of those moments where I floated up, put it all back into perspective. 100 years from now, nobody's going to read about my cupboards in any history books. They're simply not going to read about it. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. It is, but it is. I was able to put it in perspective, float back down, and okay, what are solutions here? And started the negotiations of, this is not acceptable. You got to replace these boxes. Okay. But it's in those moments that you can use it. Or you can be in a heated or starting to get heated conversation with a family member, a friend, or the grocery store clerk, or whoever it is. Basically, with a blink of an eye, you can pop up, look down now and go, oh yeah, grain of sand, come back down. Instead of getting all wrapped around the axle and spinning out, focus on solution. What do I need to do to resolve this situation? Okay. There was, after 4.5 months of being out of our house, there was a part of me that the little kid in me just wanted to have a major temper tantrum, wanted to stamp my feet and kick and scream. Okay. And I acknowledged that part, and I even kind of laughed and giggled at myself for wanting to do that. And then I was able to focus on solutions versus throwing things. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about how to use this with sleep. This is the first thing, often the only thing that I teach people who come to me specifically for sleep issues, sleep disorders. Have them crawl in bed to get all snuggled in, and then float up above their timeline. But when you're up here, you don't want to hang out up here looking down on now, because it's too easy when you're laying up here. If you're hanging out here and you're wanting to go to sleep, it's too easy to start thinking about the kitchen cabinets and how in the world could they have done that. And there's a couple other mistakes they made, and we've compromised on those. And pretty soon I'm down in the event and totally spinning out of control. Okay, so you don't want to do that. You float up. Timeline's only 1 inch long. And then imagine rolling over onto your back, going off into the Milky Way, playing in the planets or with the planets, dancing or swimming or doing whatever, bike riding or whatever you want to do in the bucket of the Big Dipper, knowing that in the morning you will wake up back in bed. And if during the night you wake up and have to go to the bathroom, you crawl back in bed, float up, roll over, and go on, go play. For those of you who are Star Trek fans, remember how when they go into warp speed, how the planets come rushing? That's literally the last image I have at night. I crawl in bed, I close my eyelids, I float up, roll over, and I'm gone. I also use this on an airplane. I've learned to be a little more judicious about it. As long as I'm pretty confident that the plane's going to take off, then when the window person is seated and the middle person is seated, because I want the aisle, then I can buckle in while the plane is still boarding. I float up, roll over, and I'm gone. I miss the rest of boarding. I miss taxiing. I miss takeoff. I wake up 2 or 3 hours into the flight. Awesome, awesome way to fly. The one time it did not work out so good was it was about 10 o'clock at night in Atlanta, and flying back from an international medical dental hypnotherapy conference. And I woke up, it was about 2:30 in the morning, still sitting on the runway in Atlanta in a thunderstorm. And then it was like, okay, I've slept like 5 hours here and I'm kind of like wide awake. Okay. And then we sat there for another hour, and then we had a 5-hour flight back to Seattle. Okay. Now I pay more attention to what's going on the ground, and are we going to take off and all those things. But I urge you to play with this and learn how to float up, make sure you roll over and go play. And just trust that, of course, in the morning, you're going to wake up back in bed. Many people worldwide go to sleep either with earbuds in their ears, listening to Orange Blossom, or what makes more sense to me is they use some sort of speaker system and just play it from their phone and fall asleep with Orange Blossom. I know many couples that when they are ready to sleep, they put on Orange Blossom and they fall to sleep together listening to Orange Blossom. And it's at least once a week, and sometimes 2 or 3 times a week, I get an email from somebody somewhere that says, I love going to sleep with you every night. Okay, which is kind of fun. Sleep with lots of people. So feel free to use Orange Blossom for sleep. If it doesn't work for you, then don't use it. But those types of recordings, some people use white noise. That's to me more irritating. Some people listen to soft music, whatever is going to support you the most in getting that night of sleep that helps you relax. Do that. But I urge you, don't lay there in bed reading Twitter or Facebook or texting and emailing everybody. Shut off all the devices and turn off the TV. Don't read your iPad. You can reading a book can be fine. Okay, different stimulation, but shut off the electronics. So sit back, relax. And for those of you totally laying down, if you want to go to sleep and stay asleep when we're done, that's fine. Or you can just give yourself the suggestion that because today I will say 5 eyelids wide open. When I say that, that means you're totally present and conscious, you're back. And one of the questions that I get from people is, does hypnosis work when I'm sleeping? And my response to that is yes, absolutely. People sometimes fall asleep listening to a recording. Or people tell me they sleep through the recording, but then they tell me they heard 5 wide awake. I tell them that you were not sleeping, you were deeply relaxed, your conscious mind went off somewhere else, and your unconscious mind was listening, and you heard 5 and your eyelids open. Okay, welcome back. So don't get too hung up on that either. So get your light switches ready as I count forward from 1 to 3. Your job is to lower your finger, closing your eyelids, shutting off your light switch, and saying to yourself, deeply relaxed. 1, 2, 3, shutting off your light switch, closing your eyelids, saying to yourself, deeply relaxed. And just allow all the sounds within that room and the sounds outside of that room to focus you more fully, more completely upon my voice. allowing all my words building one upon the other to go with you as you drift and dream. And just take in a deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale through your mouth, just picturing or imagining or pretending or knowing it to be or visualizing a cord attached to the base of your spine that travels all the way to the center of the earth. And really anchor that cord into the center of the earth, wrapping the ends around anything solid that you find. Allow the cord to expand to a size that's comfortable for you. That's right. And just release any stress, any tension, any anxiety, any negativity down that cord. You can release any unfinished projects or unfinished business. Any people who want your attention. Acknowledge any thoughts that may come into your mind, and just release them down that cord. It's a wonderful grounding cord. And just take another deep breath in through your nose, and exhaling through your mouth, relaxing even deeper. Allowing yourself to feel so calm, so tranquil. And take a third deep breath. Feeling comfort, filling your lungs. And as you exhale, allow that remaining stress and tension just flow out of your body down that cord. It's not necessary to hear any outside sounds or anyone else's voice. Now you can just enjoy the comfort of drifting into a deep, deep state of relaxation. This is the most important process for you to be doing, and the most important place for you to be. Just allow yourself to let go and relax. And now focus your awareness on the muscles on the top of your head, and begin to feel a wave of relaxation flowing from the top of your head down over your forehead, into your eyebrows, moving around your eyes now, bathing your eyes with comfort and ease. And as you feel yourself drifting deeper and deeper, focusing on the sound of my voice, feel yourself drifting deeper and relax, deeper and relaxed. As you feel a wave of relaxation flowing across your nose and down into your cheeks, the muscles melting down just like butter melting on a warm stove. Drifting deeper. As the muscles around your mouth relax, that relaxation just flows into your jaws, into your tongue. Maybe your teeth part, separate a little bit. Allow that wave of relaxation to flow from the top of your head, down over the back of your head, around your ears and temples, and on down into your neck, Just feel the muscles in your neck begin to melt and blend. Feel yourself relaxing deeper and deeper with each easy breath you take as you relax completely. That's right. All outside sounds, noises, even your own thoughts cause you to drift and go deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. And let that relaxation flow into your shoulders. Perhaps your shoulders begin to droop and sag with a heavy, drowsy feeling of relaxation. Allow those muscles to let go completely and notice how much more relaxed you are right now than you were just a few moments ago. And as that wave of comfort eases and begins to flow across the shoulders, down your arms, feel that relaxation moving into each and every muscle, nerve, and tendon as you relax and let go. Feel the muscles melting completely, allowing for perhaps tingling, soothing waves of relaxation, moving around your elbows into your forearms. Now surrounding your wrists with comfort and ease. And down into your hands and clear out to the very tips of your fingers. Relaxing more and more with each easy breath you take as you relax. Allow all the stress and tension to drain out the very tips of your fingers as you relax and let go. Now that wave of relaxation spreads from your shoulders down into the broad muscles of your back. All discomfort and disorder serving no useful purpose leaves your body as you relax deeper and even deeper, drifting into that velvety comfort. As that wave of relaxation travels down your back and around into your chest muscles, feel yourself relaxing, drifting deeper, even deeper. That wave of relaxation flows around your waist now, on down into your hips and thighs. Feel those muscles melting as you continue to relax. You may feel a pleasant tingling now, starting at the top of your head and flowing down through your entire body as that wave of relaxation spreads down through your thighs, down around your knees, bathing your knees with comfort and ease, down into your calves. Feel those calf muscles melting down completely as you relax deeper and deeper. Feel that relaxation flowing around your ankles, bathing your ankles with comfort and ease as that wave moves into the heel and arch of your feet, flowing along the soles of your feet. Clear out to the tips of your toes. And just allow any remaining stress and tension to just flow away. removing all aches and pains that serve no useful purpose. And as you reach this state of complete relaxation, you enter into your own private haven, a beautiful place of peace, comfort, and tranquility, a place where you're deeply relaxed, a place where it's safe to feel all your feelings, a place where it's safe to express your feelings, a place where you're safe, relaxed, and at peace. Allowing your subconscious mind open fully as a flower opens to the rays of sun. Listening to all the relaxing sounds around you. Becoming aware of your own easy breathing. Feeling the relaxation flowing through your body. Visualizing yourself relaxed and at peace in this beautiful place. As you look around, you find yourself indoors or outdoors, or you may find yourself in a space of feeling, knowing, whatever's appropriate for you. And as you do that, just again, imagine with me, please, or visualize, or pretend, or think to yourself that you're on a leisurely stroll, a walk through a lush, very inviting tropical rainforest. Feeling the springy, soft earth beneath your feet. Smelling the clean green scent of the abundant foliage. Possibly off in the distance, you can hear the gurgling of a brook or see the light gently filtering through the foliage. As you walk deeper into this forest, the light grows more and more dim, deeper and darker, darker and deeper. The light has grown so dim, it's difficult to see clearly, but up ahead of you, you see that the path forks. On one side, it leads to a place of deep relaxation, even deeper than you've ever relaxed before. The other path leads more directly to sleep. You can choose which side to enter. Both paths lead to sleep, to a deep, comfortable, restorative sleep. And you choose the path of your choice. The one that on one side takes you deeper relaxed than you've ever been before, and the other side takes you into deep, sound, restful, restorative sleep. Soon you feel even more drowsy than you already are, drowsier and drowsier. Sleepier and sleepier. Soon you drift off into a deep, natural, and restorative sleep. Every muscle, every nerve, every fiber in your body is at peace. The soft jungle sounds in the distance and the sound of softly rushing water creates a comfortable sleepiness that becomes more and more encompassing as you drift into a safe, restful, and restorative sleep. And should you need to awaken through the night for an emergency or a physical need, of course you're able to do so. Otherwise, you're able to sleep through the night with good, comfortable sleep memories. And should you need to get up during the night to use the bathroom, as soon as you lay down and close your eyelids, you quickly and easily enter into that deep, sound, restful, restorative sleep. If there's anything important that you need to know that it is interfering with your sleep, which is known by your unconscious mind, allow it to surface to your conscious awareness in the mornings when you wake up, so that you may process it, so that you may work with it, resolve it. That's right. Allow any awareness to serve you as a tool for growth, a tool for wisdom, an opportunity for learning, allowing you to let go of whatever that should be let go of, whatever is interfering with any deep, sound, restful, restorative sleep. When you sleep, you feel like you're wrapped in cocoons of cottony clouds, that velvety comfort, protected, at peace, having wonderful, sweet dreams. That's right. But for now, it is time to return to that wakeful awareness, knowing that tonight and in all the nights to come have healing dreams. Remembering those things that are safe and healthy and healing to remember. And forgetting those things that are safe and healthy and healing to forget. Allowing all of these things I've suggested to your unconscious mind now today to begin to exercise greater and greater influence over your thoughts, your feelings, and actions. Just as strongly, just as surely, just as powerfully, wherever you may be, as when you're here with me. And now, as I count forward from 1 to 5, allow each and every number to secure all these suggestions. So coming up now, 1, bringing your awareness back into that room and into your body. 2, feeling totally relaxed, refreshed, energized. 3, beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. 4, totally back present, conscious. And 5, feeling absolutely great and awesome for no good reason. Welcome back. All right. How'd you all do? If there's no questions or comments, again, you know how to reach me, call me, email me if you need support during the week. And look forward to seeing you all next week. We're talking about stress next week, right? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you all again for joining. Thank you to Roger for that wonderful session. I'll be following up with all of you to send out the recording and any additional resources that Roger shared today. Like Roger mentioned, our next hypnotherapy session will be next Monday, October 18th at the same time. So 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard. And Roger will be talking about using hypnotherapy to overcome fear, stress, and anxiety. So I hope you all have a relaxing, wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.
And sleep well.
Yeah, sleep well.